And now, ladies and gentlemen, we try gaining further insights into about creating a brand, making a brand. How does a brand actually stand out? What are the characteristics of a company becoming the brand and the most preferred choice for its customers and consumers? We have a special keynote address, Making Brands the Axis of Success. I would like to invite our speaker, Mr. Ganesh Ayyar, the CEO and ED of Mphasis.
Good evening. Thanks for inviting me here, and I indeed feel really honored to get Most Distinguished Digital Company Award. This afternoon I was speaking to a media person and he asked me my age. And I said I'm 17 years old and I've got 37 years of experience being 17. And actually that is the dilemma, or shall I say that is the opportunity ahead of every tech company. And what I want to share with you is the journey that we have gone through as Mphasis to make our brand, our tagline, as the axis of our success. So I'm going to give you some story, right? Story of how we went about doing it. But before I share with you the story, let me give you some data points, because no discussion is complete unless you share some data, at least in the world of big data. So I joined as the CEO 7 years ago, and in the last 7 years, this company, which used to have 28,000 employees, now has 24,000 employees. So in other words, we have 4,000 employees less, which is very contrary to what IT services industry is known for. Our revenue used to be $630 million. Now it is $930 million. So with 4,000 less employees, we are delivering 50% more revenue. Our share price used to be 148 rupees, and right now it stands at about 498 rupees today. So that's about 3.5x in terms of market cap increase. So 4,000 less employees and share price of 3.5x in an industry which is known to rely on people. To rely on people to further their revenue growth. And I'm going to share with you in 2012, when I looked at the industry as to what is happening. How many of you actually came by a car to this event, if I can have a show of hands? Most of you, yeah? Imagine 10 years later, when ET brand event takes place, many people will arrive by a car, but you don't have to bother about the chauffeur, because most likely autonomous cars would become mainstream by that time, in 10 years' time, maybe in 5. So that started triggering some thought in my mind in 2012 along with my leadership team. Now imagine an autonomous car. Who will you insure? Today, an insurance company looks at the persona of the driver to say this is the insurance premium. What persona would they look at while insuring the car? So autonomous car, now the insurance company is impacted. Let's go further. I mean, Rajiv, I'm sure, would be very happy to hear this, because HP is getting big into 3D printers. Few years from now, significant amount of the car would be printed, not manufactured. So we are in the midst of a digital revolution. That's my personal belief. And this realization came in 2012, that everything is changing. Automation is increasing, robotics is increasing, 3D printers, autonomous car, digital cash. Can Indian IT services company or industry remain immune to this change? That was the question. And the answer is absolutely not. We cannot remain immune from this revolution. Now, when there is a revolution, there is a lot of ambiguity. Obviously, ambiguity means you are not sure what to do. So first thing which we did is we came out and said our new vision, our new mission, our new logo and tagline. And our tagline says, unleash the next. It's very easy to come out with tagline, isn't it? You get some people who know good English or some people who are good at graphics, they will design the new logo and a new tagline comes out, it has to sound smart, and that's what happened. But what is more important is how do you live that tagline? And that became a challenge. And to be honest, I started questioning, am I the right person to lead Mphasis into the new digital world? Because in 2012, I was 51 years old. I was not connected to millennial generation. I have 2 daughters. It doesn't mean that you have daughters, you are automatically connected, yeah? Some people who have got teenage kids would know what I'm talking about. So I felt I needed to do something. First thing which I did is I went about doing self-transformation. Because I believe if you want to compete effectively in digital world, CEO has to transform first. CXOs have to transform first. You cannot go and tell an employee that you transform and expect they will transform and you don't transform. So I had to undergo self-transformation. And there were 3 obstacles that I had: fear of failure, ego, and ignorance. I had to deal with all those 3 things. Let me leave with you 2 cultural markers that we are working on within the company, which is important for us to be successful. A digital pure play shows 2 cultural markers. One is a culture of experimentation. Unfortunately, our society, our parents, we ourselves, we don't tolerate failure. In this country, in this society, all of us collectively, we don't promote experimentation because the moment somebody fails, that individual gets written off. How do you go about doing unleash the next if you don't promote culture of experimentation? So we started working on promoting culture of experimentation. Everybody talks about innovation. Innovation is an end product of experimentation. If you don't promote culture of experimentation, the amount of innovation you are going to get is going to be far less. Second cultural marker, compression of cycle time. We provide IT services across the globe. If any project used to take 9 months, the question was, can you do it in 9 weeks? Can you do it in 9 days? Supposing you're able to do it in 9 weeks, and you go and tell your client, Mr. Client, my competitor is providing you services, I can do it in 9 weeks and not in 9 months. What is likely going to be the reaction of the client? The client is likely to say, before you go and attack your competition, can you show it in your own business? Can you cannibalize your own business? Can you do the project which I have awarded to you in 9 weeks? And let me tell you, most successful companies fail because they fear cannibalization. And we had to deal with that cannibalization model to be smart in cannibalization so that we can bring that value. So 2 cultural markers, as I said. One is culture of experimentation. 2 is compression of cycle time. It required co-creation with our clients. We are a small company. We can't change markets. Our focus was to work with our clients so that we can bring disruptive value proposition. So let me kind of quickly wrap up so that you have more time for the panel discussion and later on for networking. The challenge ahead of us as individuals, as companies, is to manage the DNA. And that DNA stands for D for digital, N is and, A for analog. Most of us have grown up, we have built our model, our company, our own system, our own muscle memory in an analog fashion. So many a times we joke about millennials use social networks this way. They interact that way. They don't like human interaction. They would rather deal with the machine, and they want instant answers. But that is the generation which is going to power the world. So it is important for all of us, or for at least for most of us, to manage the DNA, where we can manage the duality of being digital and analog. Because the pure play digitals are coming. Our greatest advantage is our existing relationship with our clients, and if you are able to use that as a lever to leapfrog, to co-create with the client, and to compete effectively, digital pure plays will not be able to take away your business. But for that, all of us here have to transform and take the company towards DNA. So once again, I congratulate all the winners for winning those awards and invite you to be part of my 17-year-old gang. Some of you may have 20 years experience in being 17-year-old. Some of you may have 35 years of experience in being 17-year-old. Our success lies in thinking like a 17-year-old, targeting them as a client, and working with them to make this world a beautiful world. Thank you for joining me, and I invite you to unleash your next. Thank you so much.